Welcome back. Today we have something truly special for you. A story that will inspire you, motivate you, and completely change the way you think about learning English. Have you ever felt nervous speaking in English? Have you ever doubted yourself, thinking that fluency is impossible? If so, you are not alone. Many people struggle with the same fears, but today you will see that with the right mindset and methods, you can achieve fluency and transform your life. In this video, we will take you on an incredible journey of growth, perseverance, and success. By the end, you will not only feel inspired, but you will also know exactly what steps to take to improve your English, build confidence, and speak fluently. So, stay with us until the end, and let's begin this exciting journey together. Are you ready? Let's get started. Have you ever felt like this when trying to speak English? Have you ever been afraid of making mistakes, of being judged, or of feeling like you're not good enough? This isn't just a story, it's your story. And today you will realize that no matter how weak your English is, no matter how many times you've struggled, fluency is possible. English is not just a language, it's a key that opens doors to endless opportunities. It can give you confidence, help you get a better job, connect you with new friends, allow you to travel the world, and, most importantly, transform your life. By the end of this story, you will not only feel inspired, but you will also know exactly what steps to take to improve your English and take control of your future. Are you ready to take the first step toward a brighter tomorrow? Let me introduce you to someone just like you. Her name is Emma, and she once believed she could never learn English. But what happened next changed her life forever. Emma was 23 years old when she moved to a new country. She was full of excitement and dreams, but there was one major problem. Her English was terrible. She had studied English in school, but in real conversations, it was useless. Whenever she tried to speak, people didn't understand her. Her pronunciation was unclear, her grammar was a mess, and worst of all, she was terrified of speaking. Her first day in the new country was a disaster. She went to a coffee shop and tried to order. One cup coffee. Me give, please, she said nervously. The cashier looked confused. Excuse me? Emma's face turned red. She tried again. One coffee, I want. The people behind her started laughing. Someone whispered, she doesn't even know how to order coffee. Embarrassed, Emma grabbed her drink and rushed out of the shop, feeling completely humiliated. Maybe they're right, she thought. Maybe I'll never be good at English. Maybe I should just give up. That night, Emma sat alone in her tiny apartment, staring at the ceiling. She thought about all the times she had struggled when people ignored her because she couldn't speak. Well, when she failed a job interview because of her poor English, when she felt like a stranger in her own life. But then, something changed. She looked at herself in the mirror and saw a fighter staring back. I am not stupid. I am not weak. I just haven't learned the right way yet. But I will. No matter how difficult it is, I will learn English. And one day I will speak fluently and confidently, and no one will ever laugh at me again. That night, Emma made a decision that would change everything. She was determined to learn English, no matter what, but she had no idea where to start. She had already tried grammar books, vocabulary exercises, and watching English lessons, but nothing seemed to work. Until one day, she discovered something that changed everything. The next morning, Emma made a promise to herself. I will not be afraid to make mistakes. I will not be afraid to speak. She promised herself that she would practice English every single day, no matter how difficult it became. However, when she tried to practice, she felt lost. She had no one to talk to and didn't know where to begin. Should she memorize words? Should she focus on grammar? Should she watch movies? Then she remembered something she had read. The fastest way to learn a language is to think in that language. Maybe her problem wasn't speaking. Maybe her real challenge was that she was still thinking in her native language first. That day, she made a small but powerful change. Instead of forming thoughts in her native language and translating them into English, she forced herself to think directly in English. When she woke up, she told herself, "Good morning, Emma. Today is a new day. You will learn something new today." When she made coffee, she thought, "This is a cup. This is coffee. I am making coffee." When she stepped outside, she described everything in her head. That is a car. The sky is blue. That girl is wearing a red dress. At first, it was challenging. She had to pause, often to search for words. But after a few days, something incredible happened. Her brain naturally started thinking in English. This new habit was helping her, but speaking was still terrifying. She was afraid of making mistakes, afraid of being judged. Then she recalled something her teacher had once told her. Mistakes don't mean you're failing. Mistakes mean you're learning. That day, Emma made a new rule. She would stop worrying about mistakes. She would just speak. Determined to face her fear, she returned to the same coffee shop where she had once been embarrassed. Taking a deep breath, she said, "Hi, can I have a coffee, please?" It was a simple sentence, but she spoke it clearly. The cashier smiled and responded, "Of course. What size would you like?" Emma panicked. She didn't understand the question. But instead of running away, she remained calm and asked, Sorry. Can you repeat that?" The cashier repeated slowly, "What size would you like? Small, medium, or large?" Emma smiled. Now she understood. "Oh, medium, please." For the first time, she didn't feel like a failure. She felt proud. She realized something important. You don't need perfect English to communicate. You just need to be brave. That small success gave her confidence, and now she was ready to take her learning even further. Emma then noticed something interesting. Babies don't learn a language by studying grammar books. They learn by listening, repeating, and using the language. If babies could learn like that, why couldn't she? So, she made a new rule. No more boring grammar drills. No more memorizing endless word lists. She would learn English the way babies do. Here's what she did. First, she started listening to English every day. She played simple English podcasts, watched English movies with subtitles first and then without them, and listened to English songs, repeating the lyrics to improve her pronunciation. Second, she copied native speakers. She would pause a video, repeat what the speaker said, and try to match their accent. She practiced shadowing, listening to a sentence and saying it at the same time. Third, she spoke to herself. She had full conversations in English while looking in the mirror. She pretended to order food, give directions, and introduce herself. Fourth, she wrote in English every day. She kept a simple diary, writing down small moments from her day. Today was a good day. I went to the park. The weather was nice. She also made a habit of noting down new words she learned. But most importantly, she didn't just memorize single words. She learned full phrases. Instead of only learning the word hungry, she practiced saying, "I am hungry," and "Can I have some food?" Within a few weeks, Emma started noticing something incredible. English was no longer as difficult as it once seemed. She was speaking more confidently, understanding conversations better, and while she still wasn't perfect, she was improving faster than ever before. Just when she began to feel confident, something unexpected happened. She applied for a job, and during the interviewer asked her a question in English. Her mind went completely blank. She couldn't find the words. "I'm sorry, I don't understand," she said softly. The interviewer smiled politely but replied, "Thank you for coming." Emma knew what that meant. She didn't get the job. Walking home, she felt defeated. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'll never be fluent. Maybe I should just give up. Tears filled her eyes. But then, she reminded herself of something powerful. I didn't come this far to quit now. She took a deep breath and made a new decision. This was not the end. This was just the beginning. Emma had already come a long way. She was thinking in English, speaking without fear, and learning naturally. But when she faced her first job interview in English, she froze. She couldn't answer the questions, and for the first time in a while, she felt like a failure. The old Emma would have given up, but not this time. She reminded herself, I will learn, I will improve, and one day I will speak fluently and confidently. This was the moment that changed everything. Emma realized that learning English wasn't just about speaking. It was about training her mind to think, respond, and express ideas naturally. So she created a plan, a step-by-step strategy that would take her from a nervous beginner to a fluent English speaker. And today, I'm going to share everything she did so that you can follow the same path and finally master English. The first thing Emma changed was her mindset. She realized that learning English wasn't about being perfect. It was about communicating. She stopped obsessing over grammar rules, translating everything in her head and trying to sound exactly like a native speaker. Instead, she focused on speaking naturally, even if she made mistakes. She concentrated on understanding and responding instead of translating. She prioritized confidence over perfection. One day, she wrote down a simple message on a sticky note and placed it on her mirror. Confidence first. Fluency second. Perfection never. She read it every morning, training her brain to believe that she deserved to speak English fluently. She understood that mindset is 50% of success. If you fear English, you will never improve. But if you embrace it, speak it, and make mistakes without shame, you will improve faster than you ever imagined. Lesson 1. Change your mindset, and you will change your English. The next challenge was training her ears. Emma realized that one of her biggest struggles was understanding fast English. And she had an important realization. If you can't understand English, you can't speak it well. So she decided to train her ears, just like an athlete trains their muscles. She built a daily listening practice routine. Every single day, she listened to English. Podcasts, YouTube videos, audiobooks, and English TV shows became part of her daily routine. She followed a 3-step listening method. First, she listened with subtitles to understand. Second, she listened without subtitles to challenge her brain. Third, she repeated what she heard to improve her pronunciation. She practiced slow listening by slowing down difficult audios and repeating them until she fully understood. She listened actively, not passively. She asked herself questions like, what is this conversation about? What are the key words? How would I respond? Within a month, her brain started processing English more quickly. Conversations no longer felt like a blur. The lesson was clear. Listen every day, train your ears, and understanding English will become natural. The speaking challenge was another step. Emma knew that to become fluent, she needed to practice speaking more. However, she had no one to talk to. So she created her own system to practice alone. She developed a speaking plan. Every morning she spoke out loud, describing her plans. Today, I will go to the park. Then I will have lunch. Later, I will read a book. She answered imaginary questions like, "What did you do today? What do you like to eat? What are your hobbies?" And responded aloud. Every night, she recorded herself speaking for 2 minutes, then listened to improve her pronunciation. She joined online English speaking groups, found people to practice with, and sent voice messages instead of typing texts. Within weeks, she noticed significant improvement. Speaking became less intimidating, words came more easily, and her confidence grew. The lesson was simple. If you don't speak, you won't improve. Speak every day, even if you are alone. Emma also realized that her struggles came from not knowing enough words. Instead of memorizing long lists, she used a smarter approach. She learned words in context rather than as isolated vocabulary. For example, instead of just learning delicious, she practiced sentences like, "This cake is delicious," or "The food at that restaurant is really delicious." She learned from real conversations, writing down useful phrases from movies and podcasts. She focused on the most common words, studying the top 1,000 English words, which are used in 90% of conversations. Every day, she spent 10 minutes reviewing old words. She applied the 5 times rule, using each new word 5 times a day to make it stick. After 3 months, she had added over 1,000 words to her vocabulary. The lesson was clear. Learn words in sentences, review them daily, and use them immediately. Emma's final challenge was real conversations. She knew that learning alone was helpful, but true fluency comes from speaking with others. She decided to take a bold step. She forced herself to talk to native speakers. She joined local English meetups and started small conversations in shops, restaurants, and parks. Even if it was just a simple "Hi, how are you?" she made the effort. At first, she was nervous and made mistakes, but each conversation improved her skills. Then, something incredible happened. One day, she was talking to a native English speaker and realized she wasn't translating in her head anymore. She was just speaking naturally. For the first time, she felt free. Emma was no longer just learning English. She was living it. The lesson was clear. Real fluency comes from real conversations. Speak as much as possible. Emma had done it. She went from struggling with English to speaking confidently. She trained her ears, expanded her vocabulary, and forced herself to speak every day. But her journey wasn't over yet. She didn't just want to speak English. She wanted to change her life with it. And that's exactly what she did. Emma had always dreamed of working for an international company. She wanted a job where she could earn a high salary, travel to different countries, work with smart and successful people, and feel proud of herself. But there was one major problem. All the best jobs required English. At first, this dream seemed impossible. She used to think, "I will never be good enough in English. No one will hire me. Fluent English speakers are smarter than me." But after months of learning and practicing, something changed inside her. She realized she was no longer the same person. She had worked hard, pushed herself, and improved every single day. So, she made a decision. I will apply for my dream job. I will not let fear stop me. Emma applied for a job at a big international company. She was nervous, but she reminded herself of one thing. I don't need perfect English. I just need confidence. When the interviewer asked, "Tell me about yourself," Emma didn't freeze. She smiled and spoke naturally. She told them how she had worked hard to learn English how she practiced every day to improve, and how she never gave up, even when she failed. The interviewer was impressed. They said, "Emma, we love your confidence. You're exactly the kind of person we want on our team." And just like that, Emma got the job. Her salary? $4,000 per month. More money than she had ever earned in her life. The moment she saw her first paycheck, she cried tears of happiness. She couldn't believe it. English had changed her life. After getting the job, Emma's life completely transformed. She started traveling the world. Before learning English, she had never left her country. Now, her company sent her to different countries for work. She visited London, where she saw Big Ben and spoke confidently with native English speakers. In New York, she ordered coffee in English without fear. In Paris, she gave a presentation in English in front of 50 people. She felt powerful, independent, and unstoppable. She became more confident in everything. Emma noticed that English didn't just help her at work. It changed who she was as a person. Before learning English, she was shy and afraid to talk to people. She always doubted herself and felt small in the world. After learning English, she spoke with confidence, believed in herself, and felt like she could do anything. One day, a friend told her, "Emma, you're not the same person you were a year ago. You have completely changed." She smiled because she knew it was true. She helped others learn English after seeing how much it had changed her life. Emma set a new goal. "I want to help others learn English too." So, she began teaching her friends simple ways to improve, helping people online by sharing her story and inspiring others to believe in themselves. She realized that the best way to keep improving was to help others improve too. Emma's journey proves one thing: anyone can learn English and change their life. Now, she wants to share her biggest lessons with you. Stop saying, "I can't." Believe in yourself. Emma used to think, "I can never learn English," but she was wrong. She realized that the only difference between successful people and those who fail is belief. If you keep telling yourself, "I'm bad at English," the first will never be fluent, or English is too hard, then you will never improve. But if you start saying, "I can learn English, I am improving every day, and I will become fluent," then one day you will wake up and become the person you always dreamed of being. Speak English every single day. Fluency doesn't come from just studying. It comes from using English in real life. Emma's golden rule was, if you don't speak, you will never improve. So, from today, start speaking, even if you are alone. Talk to yourself in English. Repeat conversations from movies. Send voice messages instead of texts. And join groups where people practice English. The more you speak, the faster you will improve. Keep going, even when it feels hard. There were many times Emma wanted to give up, but she didn't. She kept learning, practicing, and pushing herself. Why? Because she knew that every effort counts. Maybe today, you learn only one new word. Maybe you practice for just 5 minutes. But guess what? That's still progress. If you improve by just 1% every day, in 1 year, you will be 365% better. Your future is waiting. Take action now. Emma's life changed because she decided to take action. She didn't wait for the perfect moment. She started with what she had, where she was. And now, she has a high-paying job. She travels the world, and she is more confident than ever. All of this happened because she learned English. Congratulations, my amazing friends. You've just taken another step toward mastering English and changing your life. Now, it's time to take action. Don't just watch. Start practicing today. Speak out loud. Think in English. and challenge yourself every single day. If this story inspired you, let me know in the comments. What's your biggest challenge in learning English? What's one thing you will do today to improve? I want to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another powerful lesson. Turn on the notification bell so you're always the first to watch our latest videos. Remember, your fluency journey starts now. Keep learning, keep speaking, and never give up. The world is waiting for your voice. See you in the next video.